Ankaj, if you could start us off, please.
Sure, John. So the first one that we have for today comes from Sequa and talks about the always on economy.
Yes, I think it's pronounced Sequoia. It's Sequoia Capital out of after the beautiful redwoods in California in the Bay Area. Yeah, always on
Yeah.
economy here. The idea that everything's everything all the time, as they say in the Eagles song "Life in the Fast Lane," right?
Yeah.
So, what do you think, Alden?
This one I mark as essential, right? Now, it
Fascinating.
might not be a tool that is being introduced, but this concept is absolutely essential, especially for enterprises. And we have many customers that are now starting to feel this always on, uh, concept. I'll give you the best example is actually a divorce attorney firm that doubled their lead gen rate
Mm-hmm.
using an always on agent from us on their website. Now this might be a special case because, as you know, most divorced couples fight more at night, and so you
Wow,
need to have
interesting.
something on the website early morning or in the middle of the night, right? And by having this accessibility and this bot on their website, they were able to double their inflow
It's,
of customers.
isn't that amazing? It's funny you said it, Alden, because you remind me of one time I knew a guy by the name of Lee Sessions who grew a bank in the greater Atlanta area from about 4% market share to about 25% market share before he sold it to what was then Nations Bank, which became Bank of America. And I said, Lee, how did you do it? And he said, the critical thing was when people get angry at their bank, it's hard to move. So if you can make it easy to move, then they will come to you. And that's so if he had had a bot, because who knows when you get angry with your bank, right? And it's fascinating. And he grew it from 6% to 25% market share. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And,
no,
and
that's
John,
fantastic. I love it.
yeah. And John, you have this concept of like AI is the new UI.
Yes,
And this is a great example of that.
yes,
Always on your website,
yeah,
you know, doing the job, deflecting tickets,
yep.
driving leads. That's where a lot of the potential is. And if any enterprise is not doing this, it is, just money left on the table.
All right, Dr. Amanda Fitch, we have an essential going on here. What do you think?
It's tough for me to always kind of go the essential route. I mean, it has to like blow me off my seat kind of thing, but I mean, with all of the points made and everything, I could see essential. I think already there was great points, so I don't have too much to add on this one. But yeah, I could go to essential.
All right, Paul, I came in way lower on this one, but we're heading for essential. What do you think?
Yeah, I can support essential here. I do really like the theme Alden talked about. I actually think the name is not powerful enough. I think for executives, it needs to always working or always taking task. Because some executives feel I'm already always on now, Alden. I have information about my divorce site on my site. So I have a 24 hours a day always on information capability. I don't have an always on interaction or taking task or engaging capability, which I think you were really talking about here. But
Yeah.
I think that's and the notion, and I think that the fact that we're going to have the leaders need to understand we're going to have these AI agents 24 hours a day coding, selling, doing customer support is the right mindset rather than just having information available 24 hours a day. So in that sense, essential.
Yeah, so interesting. Yeah, also it makes some good points around that supplies, things like power and other things, peak demand may smooth out, right? If you can work 24 hours a day and have the robots do it some of the time. All right, we're gonna head for the
We talked
essential on
about the
this.
support use case, which is, no busy times, no waiting.
Yeah.
Like, if any website, if any business right now is not using AI for support, that's like just lost efficiency there.
Sure. Awesome. All right, essential it is. Ankaj, next, please.
The next one comes from Anthropic, and it's a case study about how Panther has launched AI security teams.
Sure. Yeah, this is one that picks two bad boxes for me. Should have had a robot do it, and it's a thin, product promotion case. So here we have Panther, talking about how they're bringing security operations with their AI-driven approach using Anthropic. I gave this one an optional. I don't know, uh, Amanda, where are you on this?
Yeah, Dr. John, full on optional. Not much to say for me.
All right, Paul, I'm sure you're going to make a defense for a product announcement being essential here.
No, product announcement optional.
Alden?
Yeah, I would keep it as optional to for people in the security area. This is probably important, but at the end of the day, yeah, the models are becoming really good at reasoning, really good at coding, and that opens up a lot of analysis, and
Yeah.
use cases in all areas.
All righty, optional. Ankash, next.
Okay, the next one that we have comes from LangChain and talks about how Trellix has cut long parsing time from days to minutes with LangGraph Studio and Langsmith.
All right, we see our friends at LangChain trying to, I think, put out more case studies like Amazon has. What do you think, Amanda, on this one?
Yeah, so that's where it becomes a little gray area for me because I would just say this one's also very optional. But when you start throwing in companies and how they're using the tools, then I'm like, I don't know. Can I be talked into important? I guess I'll see what others think on this one. But yeah, I feel like today a lot of optionals for me.
Yeah, it was an optional for me. What do you think here, Paul? I lip read optional. Alden.
Yeah, I would keep this as optional too. Nice use case, just as I had mentioned with the Anthropic case, the models are becoming good at reasoning. This is just a simple example of an agent, passing law, understanding schema. So definitely optional. And
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and I want to add that I'm also not a big fan of LangChain. It is like
There we go. All right. So we'll apply the appropriate LangChain filter for Alden, and
yeah.
but still no. But I mean, I think I'm going to put it as optional. But it is amazing. Jamie Yoder, partner over at Accenture, and I ages ago wrote a thing about AI, and one of the things we said is that AI can help you pick up the trash and look at the stars, and it's like you can do these simple things that create efficiency, such as log file handling, as well as do amazing new things like discover new proteins. So it's quite a range. All right, Ankash, that's going to be an optional, and let's go to the next one.
The next one is a research paper which talks about agent A/B, automated and scalable web A/B testing with interactive LLM agent.
Yeah, I mean, I think I found this absolutely fascinating. I mean, this whole issue of A/B testing of anything, and to be able to do personas and behaviors, and to create synthetic ones, and then do A/B testing in an efficient way. What do you think, Alden?
Yeah, this I would put it as optional and put it as important for people who are, in A/B testing world. Uh, Basically, the concept here is of synthetic data, and can you use synthetic data to shortcut a lot of, heavy duty work? Or like, I don't know if you all know, but before custom GPT, my previous company was basically A/B testing web assets called Poll the People. And it was very painful because every time you needed 500, surveys to be conducted, you had to send it to 500 humans, and it was super expensive. So something like this could cut down the cost of doing that tremendously without and make it extremely fast as well.
Yeah, what do you think here, Amanda?
Yeah, I really like this article. I mean, I have old A/B testing books sitting on my bookshelf, and I'm like, wow, it kind of like blows those days away, back in the day of all this manual way of setting these things up. So I actually really like this one. I could be important and even talking to Essential on this one, just because I feel like A/B testing isn't going away anytime soon. We've used it forever, and I think this take on it is pretty cool to read for the leader. Now I agree with Alden, though. I mean, not every leader is sitting there actually being the ones to conduct the testing themselves. So whether they want to dig into a research paper on that is, something we could discuss. But in general, I think this was a pretty decent read. So I'd go important, and I could even be talking to Essential on this one.
Yeah, I was kind of between important and essential as well, because I think that, as we talk about that AI is redoing the, user interface, it's going to be a huge need for testing. And I'm thinking about the AI leader. I mean, if they're somewhere in the organization, most organizations, you have somebody who should be doing this. And, to your point, Alden, a lot of times you don't do it because it's too painful, takes too long, right?
Mhm.
Not because you shouldn't do it, right? I don't know, Paul, what are you doing? I'm headed for essential on this one. What's up?
Yeah, I'm important. I think there's two aspects of it. The AI leader. This is A/B testing, so this is multiple messages against the same persona. We saw earlier all the different ways of using synthetic groups to find different things. So there's this explosion of combinatorial testing here, where can I start testing multiple messages with multiple different focus groups at a very cost-effective, quick way is a really important theme here. So important in my mind.
All right, I think I'm going to push this into essential, just because I think we've got, as the Vec notes, we've got new voices coming in. We're going to have lots of dimensions of interaction and dialogue that we're going to be able to experiment with. So let's do it. All right, essential. Next.
The next talks about a new Moore's law for AI agent.
Yeah, new Moore's law for AI agents. How cool is this? I again, not to sound like great inflation here, but I don't know. I was important to essential in this one. It's a very simple read, and the idea that every that length of tasks that agents are succeeding at 50% is growing exponentially. So this is similar to how they test the lethality of different drugs, right? At 50%, at this dose, at 50% of the rats die, right? Here we've got 50% of the tasks successfully performed. And I think this notion of, taking longer term tasks and capabilities and, it's that more and more complex things. It's an interesting, easy way to think about the growing capability. So I don't know. I was on the fence between important and essential on this one. What do you think, Amanda?
Yeah, Dr. John, I'm not essential for this one. The only thing that would take me down is the fact that, of course, it's a like a prediction, right? So whether this actually will happen or not is yet to be seen. But yeah, I really like this one too. I thought it was interesting, and like you said, short and sweet in there. But I think it's a change in how work is going to be done for the future. So I'm essential on this one.
Alden, where are you on this?
Yeah, I would put it as important. This is something that everybody knew, right? That AI is increasing 10x like every year. So uh, definitely an important trend, and especially as interaction between various AIs also come into play.
Yes.
Uh, you know, I think the combinatorial explosion here will continue.
Yeah, what I like that I agree with you, Alden, that folks kind of generally know. What I like about this one is, like Moore's law, it has an edge to it that really gets people's imaginations going. So I think I'm going to go ahead and give this one an essential as well. All right, Ankash, next.
Okay, the last one that we have for today talks about a new open source text to speech model called Dia.
Yep. Yeah, here we have a couple of folks who just didn't like the voice control in Notebook LM and decided to go and create a product. I love them. And Google gave them the tensor processing units to go ahead and do it. So what do you think here, Amanda?
Yeah, so in general, I would have been optional for this one, but what I want to note is what you said, Dr. John. They even say in the article that they weren't necessarily AI experts.
Yeah.
So you have individuals that are interested in this area, and they're in a like an announcement, product announcement, whatever we want to call this, research announcement in VentureBeat right now.
Right.
Because they had an idea, and it's like, wow, I can really do something like this. So I feel like in general the idea is optional, but I just would like the leader to note that, hey, if you're that person, you're not the most tech savvy, you're not a developer by trade, you can get out here and do this and start your own company, or run with your idea. So that's kind of the takeaway I had from this article for the leader for organizations.
All right, so important we're going for. What do you think, Alden? You were
Yeah, I would mark it as important unless like it like blows up and takes off like Manus or somebody like that. Right. There are a lot of people paying a lot of attention to these multimodal. Most importantly, Facebook, which is investing like tens of billions
yeah.
into the models. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, if they get railroaded. But for now, if we have access to an open source model, purpose built, and it works really well,
Yeah.
then that would be a great thing.
All right, gonna give this baby an important. Ankash, if you could do the big tote board, that'd be good. Alden, any announcements in terms of life at Custom GPT?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, no, just riding the AI wave here. The next set of companies that are waking up, and we are just sitting here benefiting from the AI wave because we are usually like an on ramp to AI for a lot of companies, and just benefiting from that and continuing to build and innovate. This agent thing is definitely taking off.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to see.
Very exciting. Amanda, any new news?
No, just I did start a YouTube channel. So for anybody who follows me or wants to on LinkedIn, YouTube, check it out, because I'll be talking about AI space and all that cool stuff. So tech AI space, oh my. If interested, should be fun.
Wonderful. I'll check it out. And remember, everybody, please do like and subscribe to our YouTube channel here if that's how you're watching us, or on LinkedIn. And then the articles are always available at gaiinsights.com/articles. All right, we have 3 essentials here: always on economy, A/B testing, and a new Moore's law. So lots of reading. The only long one really there is the A/B testing, research paper. So I think punchy, good material. All right, look. Thanks, Ankash. Thanks, Alden. Thanks, Amanda. Looks like we have the whole A team, literally. Anyway, we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye now.
Okay.
Awesome.